Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 22. Krishna steals the garments of the unmarried gopis. Text 30 to 32 we will do. 30 does not have a purport. 31 and 32 has got a purport, so we will read those verses. I'll just read the Sanskrit on the translation. Nidaghar katape tigme chayabhi swabhiratmanah atapatrayitan vikshya druman aha vrajaukasah. When the sun's heat became intense, Lord Krishna saw that the trees were acting as umbrellas by shading him, and thus he spoke as follows to his boyfriends. Okay. Hey, Stoka Krishna, Hey, Angsho, Sridhaman, Subhala, Arjuna, Vishala, Vrishabha, Ojaswin, Devaprastha, Varutapa, Pashyata, Etan, Mahabhagan, Para-artha, Ekanta, Jivitan, Vata, Varsha, Atapa, Himan, Sahantaha, Varayanti, Naha, Pashyaitan Mahabhagan, Pararthaikanta Jivitan, Vatavarshatapa Sahanto Varayantinah, Pashyataitan Mahabhagan, Pararthaikanta Jivitan, Vatavarshatapa Sahanto Varayantinah, Pashyataitan Mahabhagan, Pararthaikanta Jivitan, Vatavarshatapa Sahanto Varayantinah. Pashyataitan Mahabhagan, Pararthaikanta Jivitan, Vatavarshatapa Sahanto Varayantinah. Pashyataitan Mahabhagan, Pararthaikanta Jivitan, Vata, not Vata. Vatavarshatapa Sahanto Varayantinah. Pashyataitan Mahabhagan, Pararthaikanta Jivitan, Vatavarshatapa Sahanto Varayanti Naha. Mataji. Okay. Pashyata. Just see. Etan. These. Mahabhagan. Most fortunate. Para artha. For the benefit of others. Ekanta. Exclusively. Jivitan. Whose life. Vata. The wind. Varsha. Rain. Atapa. Heat of the sun. Himan. And snow. Sahantaha. Tolerating. Varayanti. Keep off. Naha. For us. Translation and commentary by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. Translation: Lord Krishna said, O Stoka Krishna and Angshu, O Sridhama, Subala and Arjuna, O Vishala, Vrishabha, Ojasvi, Devaprastha and Varutapa, just see these greatly fortunate trees whose lives are completely dedicated to the benefit of others. Even while tolerating the wind, rain, heat and snow, they protect us from these elements. Purport: Lord Krishna was preparing to bestow His mercy on the wives of the hard-hearted ritualistic brahmanas. And in these verses, the Lord indicates that even trees who are dedicated to the welfare of others are superior to brahmanas who are not. Certainly, the members of the Krishna consciousness movement should soberly study this point. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivikasa Swaminiti Namine. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Pashyataitan Mahabhagan Parartaikanta Jivitan Vata Varsha Tapahiman Sahanto Varayantinaha. Just see these greatly fortunate trees whose lives are completely dedicated to the benefit of others. Even while tolerating the wind, rain, heat and snow, they protect us from these elements. So we are almost at the end of this chapter. So we saw after Krishna very lovingly reciprocating with the gopis for their great sacrifice they performed. They engage in tapasya for pleasing Krishna, and at the end of as a result, they were able to please. Names of the Gopas are mentioned here: Stoka Krishna, Angshu, Sridhama, Subala, Arjuna, Vishala, Vrishabha, Ojasvi, Devaprastha, Varutapa. So for those who have read the Nectar of Devotion, in the later chapters, there is a chapter called the Fraternal Devotion. In this chapter, the names of these sakhas are mentioned. There are different sets of gopas who render service to Krishna. Some of them are called sakhas, some of them are called priya sakhas. Like that, there are different categories. So we are not going to get into it. But these are some of the very intimate friends of Krishna who are just like normal friends, and others are very intimate. They try to sometimes their mood is mixed with vatsalya. They try to come and protect Krishna from their enemies. And when the demons are trying to attack them, they go in the front. And like that, these are many devotees. So when Krishna was walking with these devotees, so he immediately there was a heat. So Krishna immediately saw the beautiful tree that was there lying, and then he immediately started appreciating the quality of the tree. how the tree is able to withstand so much heat. It is even in the winter or in the summer, it is giving shelter to everyone, sacrificing its own life. So this is the very key point here. In the rest of another 4 or 5 verses, it just speaks on the same theme. Krishna is just pointing out to Balaram and all his friends there. See this tree, what a glorious creature. In that sense, that it is sacrificing its life for the sake of others. So this is a very important theme for us to understand, that we all have got the human form of life. So what is the purpose of this human life? Is it simply for sense gratification? Are we just meant to lead our life in a very comfortable way to satisfy our senses? Or there is some higher purpose? So we can see from the lives of the great personalities in the Puranas, in the Mahabharata, in the Ramayana, how they have set examples that one can derive real happiness or higher satisfaction by sacrificing one's life for the sake of others. Now, that has to be very clearly defined. For the sake of others means what? So we will discuss that a little bit. So, but the idea is that rather than simply satisfying one's own senses, when we try to help others, that it has got a higher level of satisfaction. But then, what is the real topmost satisfaction? What the Vedas are pointing out, what the ultimately all the essence of the Vedas, what is it that it is point to, which will give a real satisfaction for the soul? So that is the most important subject matter of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So actually Krishna is pointing out, in the upcoming verse, one of the verses in this section, maybe after 2 or 3 verses you will get this verse, Etava Janma Sapalyam. Prabhupada many times quoted this verse. It's a very important verse for us to know. Etava Janma Sapalyam Dehinam Iha Dehishu Pranair Artair Dhiya Vacha Shreyaha Acharanam Sada. So, Prabhupada quotes that in the Chaitanya Charitamrita and says that, Janma Sapalyam, one can attain the perfection of life. How? By Pranair, one's life, air, by giving one's prana, artha, whatever asserts he has. Artha, dhiya is intelligence, vacha is words. By using all these 4 items, shreyaha acharanam sada, for the benefit of others. So this is one's real perfection of one's life. Generally, what is happening in the modern world, we have been trained right from young age how to use all these 4 items to satisfy ourselves, or to satisfy, not for me, it's just for my wife, for my children, for my neighbors, for this street, for this locality, for this state, for this country. That's how we look at everything. That's how we are trained right from young age. But Krishna is not pointing out that here. Krishna, through the example of this tree, is pointing out that, see how it is selflessly serving others, in spite of sacrificing its own. The same subject matter is also dealt in the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Lord gives the example through the discussion between Dattatreya and he is showing about the 24 gurus. Now, out of the 24 gurus, one of the gurus is pointing out as the earth, and within that earth is pointing out the mountains and the trees. Mountains also, they give shelter to so much of land is there, and then also so many trees are there, so many animals are there, and it is giving shelter. So it is always trying to trying to give happiness to others. And the trees that's the example that is given here. That the trees are said to be, it's tolerant. Immediately when we just remember from Sikshashtaka, we immediately remember this. Tree is tolerant, and it gives shelter to everyone. It's actually, in spite of so much heat, it holds it, but it gives shelter to those whomsoever is coming under its shelter. And another amazing aspect of the tree that we can see is that even if you cut the tree, it doesn't protest. The log of the tree becomes as a firewood. We use it for cooking and everything. So much to learn. Krishna is pointing out that this human form of life is meant for sacrifice. Now, this is the question. There are so many people who are doing sacrifice in this world. And they are doing sacrifice for several things. They have, for human rights, for, right to, now there are right to so many things. But the problem is that the rights are perverted because people do not have a clear idea of what is dharma. What is our real nature? If we understand that, then our sacrifice will be for the right cause. Otherwise, general idea is that so many freedom fighters are there. Freedom fighters, then people who give food for the hungry, shelter, build so many houses, old age homes, shelter for the orphans, then serving the nation in various ways. You build you feed, you give water in the bus stop, you give, during the summer you give buttermilk, you make the bus stand. So many, there's a big list of things people try to do, and they try to serve others. Yeah, that's one level of service. But even if you do all kinds of those service, because the clear understanding is not there, it's just for the temporary. You are trying to help the body. Someone is in the bodily platform, you're trying to help him, and anyway he's going to leave that body. So that's not considered to be the real altruistic activity. So Srila Prabhupada, in so many places, again and again, reminds the point that the real service is to help a person to connect himself again with religion, means religare, into again reconnect with God. That service is what is being pointed out here. So when Krishna says etava janma sabalyam dehinam pranayar arther diya vacha, here Krishna is meaning that, is explaining the point that learn from this tree that it is giving shelter to others. Similarly, our life is meant not only for our own purification, but to help others to come to the stage of developing love for God. Then our life is perfect. So that ISKCON is meant for that. This movement is meant to help others to develop love for God. In the Nectar of Instruction, Prabhupada points out that why this International Society for Krishna Consciousness is started. So that there are so many people who will come and associate with devotees, chant the names of Krishna, hear the instructions of Krishna, hear Krishna Katha, together honor Krishna Prasadam and purify one's existence and develop or revive our dormant Krishna consciousness. That's the idea of the human form of life. And we can see from the Shastras great examples of several personalities. There's a big list. I just wrote down few of the examples. Well, so many of you will have so many nice examples as well. Very much in this purport, Prabhupada also, the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, they are pointing out a very interesting thing. They're pointing out that because in the next chapter, there is a upcoming pastime, an amazing pastime, how the wives of the Brahmanas, they were very simple ladies, they had so much love for Krishna. So when Krishna and his friends, actually the Gopas were hungry, so Krishna particularly wanted them to go to the house of these Brahmanas and ask for some food, because there is yajna that they are going to perform. They are performing the yajna and there is bhoga to be offered. So he said, you just ask them, we will take. And they were completely rich. So that's why in this purport you can see this being pointed out, that they were ritualistic Brahmanas. They do not know who is Krishna. They do not know who Krishna's friends are. Rather, the wives of the Brahmanas were very well aware, and they were ready to give whatever they had. They want with great happily they wanted to give it to Krishna. So this giving is such an important aspect of Krishna conscious life. Our mentality before coming to Krishna conscious, or generally in the material world, there is a heavy competition. There is a heavy competition for how to exploit each other. That's how the material world is designed. Exploit each other and try to dominate and try to be selfish. But completely, or rather the perfection of spiritual life is that just go on giving, just give. And by giving, one gets satisfaction, one gets happiness. Giving what? Krishna's holy name, Krishna's katha, Krishna's prasadam, and the loving relationship that Krishna is providing, just sharing it with others. Immediately the soul is thoroughly satisfied. Because Krishna is like that. One of the name of Krishna is called as Sukadha, the giver of happiness. So when we follow in his footsteps, we get happiness. That's why so many things we may try in this material world, try to satisfy our senses in various ways. At the end of the day, we are frustrated. So we can see the more a devotee is selfless and always he thinks of the welfare of others, he is the most happy person in this entire universe. And then in the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, we can see one verse. So Krishna says that Atmopamyena Sarvatra. He points out that who is a real yogi? A real yogi is one who understands others' suffering to be his suffering. And he tries to help others based on that. He understands. And when in one of the classes, when His Grace Mukunda Prabhu was here, he said that he was quoting Gopi Parandana Prabhu. He said that this is something you can't just find it with anyone. It's a great gift of God. That really one has that sense that really feels for others' suffering. I'm not here talking about mundane suffering. Well, people have that. There are some people who are very cruel also. They're just so selfish. They don't think of others at all. But then the Vaishnava is one who is really compassionate, seeing that people are suffering in the material world because of forgetfulness of Krishna. That's the real problem. Forgetfulness of Krishna causes all kinds of problems, and that's a root of all the chaotic situation. And he knows that, and he just very seriously works to spread the Krishna consciousness movement. So here, the Brahmanas, the Prabhupada also in the Bhagavad Gita, he defines who is a Brahmana. Brahmana is one who is on the path of self-realization. Then there is, in the 2nd chapter, he contradicts between a Brahmana and a Kripana. Kripana is one who is just engaged in sense gratification. He always I, me, mine. But a Brahmana is one who is actually Udharadi. He thinks of others' welfare. He should be like that. So, and we can see from the, as I said, the several examples we can see the example of Bhishma, who sacrificed his life for the sake of his father. For he did sacrifice. He took a vow of brahmacharya. But he stood with that. So that's an example we can see. We can see the example of Lord Ramachandra himself. All the opulence he had, the Lord himself is setting the example. He was about to be, the Pattabhishekam is going to happen for him the next day. But just because he got the order, you may say that there is a pastime and he wanted to kill the demons, all those things are there, but still the Lord is showing the example that yes, an order is given, we need to sacrifice for the higher purpose. What other examples we can see from the Bhagavatam? We can take the example of Dadichi. He sacrificed this when Indra and other demigods, they wanted to kill Vritrasura. They were asking for the bones of his body. He sacrificed that. He gave it, okay, take it. Then other examples is given in Mahabharata and other Puranas as well. We can take the example of Shibi. Shibi was actually, who was that? Indra and Agni. They came in the form of pigeon and eagle, I think, yeah. So they were, they were trying to attack. The eagle was trying to attack the pigeon. The same another similar example is given in the 11th canto as well. That they were trying to. They were asking, "It's my food. I want." The king said, "In my place, you want the food. I will help you. Just leave it. It has come under. I think the pigeon will come and take shelter of the king. So they will say that, okay, I will help you. What do you want? So I want my food. It's my food also. You have to give me. So I'll give my flesh. You take how much you want." So it will be put on the weighing scale. So he will be giving his flesh one after the other. He will be giving the flesh. Then on the weighing scale, it will be measured. How much ever it gives, it will not be balanced. So finally, when he was about to cut himself and give, then Agni and Indra they appeared and then said that, "Oh, you are ready to sacrifice your whole life. Your entire body for us." So that is an example. And also an example of Ranti Dev that is given. Ranti Dev, after performing tapasya, he wanted to please Vishnu and he fasted, and then he wanted to take little food and water. But then a Brahmana, again the demigods disguised, they came. A Brahmana appeared and then he asked for some food. So he gave some food to him. And then after that, and then he was about to take, then again another I think, another person comes, maybe a Shudra or someone, he comes, he is asking for some more food, then he was given some more food he was given. And then there was, whatever food that was there, he was given. Then there was another, another fellow with a dog, he will come. So he was very thirsty also. So some water, whatever water he had, that also was given. And then he just completely sacrificed. Actually, these things are there, and it's being pointed out how people are ready to sacrifice their life for the benefit of others. And like that we can see also, Prabhupada also in one of the lectures, he quotes a story of a dog, how the dog was trying to protect a small child. Remember hearing that? Prabhupada says that the dog will, the owner would have gone out, and when he comes back to the house, he will see that the dog, there will be stains of blood on the face of the dog, and then he will not be able to see the child. So he'll be wondering what happened. Maybe the dog actually ate his child. So he will just take a gun and then shoot at it. After that, he will see that actually there was a snake on the side and the child is just moving around. So Prabhupada in one of the classes gives this example. And then we can see more examples. We can see the life of, from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, some examples we can see. We can see Vasudeva Datta, who wanted to take the sins of everyone. He was requesting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my dear Lord, let everyone go back to Vaikuntha. I will take the sins of everyone. That was his spirit. Of course, we have a famous example of Ramanujacharya as well, who was ready to go to hell by giving the name of the Lord, and then he wanted to take all the sins of others. No problem, I will go to hell. So this was the complete spirit of the Vaishnavas. Then also there is an example of Vasudeva, who was, the worms were, he was having this kind of a leprosy, then all the worms were on the wound. It will fall down and he'll just put it back. Oh, this is the history of the whole Vaishnavism. We are just discussing a few of the examples. There are so many you can see who have given their lives. Such as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gives the example of Bharata Bhumite Haila Manusha Janma Jar, Janma Sarthake Kari Karo Paraupakar. He says that the purpose of human form of life, specifically those who are born in the Bharata Bhumi, what is it that we are meant to do? Paraupakar. So that's the very important thing. We should not give Ubadra to others. Ubadra is different from Upakar. Upakar means really helping others. But in the modern world, it's only, everyone is just disturbing others. Pathetic situation of this material world. Because such a crooked mentality. There is no training whatsoever from young age. All the time the training is given, I, me, mine, I, me, mine. That's why we read this, we study the scriptures like Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavatam. So much to learn. It is completely on a different platform. Or that's the most perfect platform, and we are just hovering on the sense gratificatory platform. And when we look at it, it's easy to speak about this, but I'm just saying, if let's just think somebody is asking for some food, we will think, just can you wait till I'll finish this? We are on that level. We cannot artificially imitate others, but see what Bhagavatam is showing. See what these great personalities are showing in their lives. How they are sacrificing their lives. It's amazing. So it's in the 7th canto, in the 6th canto, there is a very interesting verse. Some years back, Guru Maharaj also gave a class on this verse. It's a beautiful verse which speaks about, if we understand, we are, in the material world, we are so much engrossed in the bodily platform. We think body to be all in all. So all the efforts, our energy, pranayar, arthair, diya, vacha is used in preserving and protecting this body. So but there are verses again and again in the Bhagavatam which points out that, hey, your life is, don't just waste all your life and energy in just preserving this body. But you have a higher purpose. So that's why the Bhagavatam, we are indebted to the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, the great acharyas who have given us this knowledge. If we are not aware of this knowledge, we will be just completely, we will be competing with each other like cats and dogs and just thinking how to enrich our body and give facilities to the body. So the verse says, Aho dainyam, aho kashtam, parakyai, kshanabhanguraihi, yannopakuryad, aswartair, martyasva, jnati vigrahaihi. This body which is eatable by jackals and dogs after death does not actually do any good for me. The spirit soul, it is usable only for a short time and may perish at any moment. The body and its possessions, its riches and relatives must all be engaged for the benefit of others, or else they will be sources of tribulation and misery. It's everyone can see in our own life. If we don't, the more we are selfish, the more we are discontented. The more we are selfless, then there is some satisfaction. But again, this has to be very clearly different. When you just say selfless, we have to do selfless service. Selfless for what? Not again selfless service for taking care of this body. Selfless service for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Savai pumsang paro dharmo yato bhakti radokshaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. So it's paro dharmo. Paro dharmo is that which we are rendering service to Lord Vishnu and his pure devotees, and trying to help people to connect whatever endeavor that we take in that regard. That's the real revolution. So that is what Srimad Bhagavatam is showing us. That's what Srimad Bhagavatam is teaching us. That's what Krishna is pointing out to the Gopas and others in this verse, that look at the trees, how they are sacrificing their lives. So that's an important thing. And also we can see in whatever way possible. So that's one thing. Understanding that we are not this body, we are spirit, soul, we are eternal servants of Krishna. We are meant to develop love for Krishna. So this is one level. And then distributing this love of God. This is where these are the Rupanugas. These are the Prabhupada-anugas. This is what Srila Prabhupada taught us. Right from day one, the devotees who joined the movement, they were all preaching. They were all sent out to distribute books, to tell about Krishna, whatever that they knew. They were out to preach. So that was a great spirit that was inculcated. Not that one becomes a pandit or one is a very learned, and that simple faith. Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are his eternal servants. Okay, this much you know, you go and tell this to others. Prabhupada always used to say, what's that, Shyamasundar Prabhu's daughter, Saraswati, he will say, so Krishna, who is Krishna? Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Great preaching. Prabhupada was, how many of the yogis they know, how many of the jnanis they know Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? They don't know. They are doing tapasya for several millions of years, trying to see the rays coming from the tip of the toenail. They don't know that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's the greatest news. Sometimes Gokul used to say, good news. What's the good news? Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, not you or me or anyone. And that's the problem. There is again a whole set of people who think that, okay, we are God. So you can see so many different kinds of misconceptions are there. So that's why Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is pointing out that, what is he pointing out? He pointing out that Krishna Das e Bishwas korle to ar dukonai. So to understand that we are eternal servants of Krishna, and just to have conviction in this, that all the sufferings are gone. One becomes completely free from all sufferings. And then the spirit of helping others, giving this knowledge to others. How devotees, they have taken great risks to save the lives of others. So that's why everyone, each and everyone who have joined this movement should experience. We have to go out. All the service, ultimately all the service is meant to please Krishna. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Krishnarte akila cheshtaha. All the endeavor that we take is meant to please Krishna. He could be cooking for Krishna, one can be doing puja for Krishna, one can be giving a class for Krishna, one will be sing for Krishna, one will teach for Krishna, one will construct for Krishna. Everything is done for the pleasure of Krishna. But then again, the spirit of giving this knowledge to others, helping one, bringing one, that all experience should also each and everyone should have. That's why we see when devotees join in the Brahmacharya ashram, we do menial services, washing pots, cleaning the bathroom toilet and everything. Everyone is also sent out to go and distribute books, go and join the Harinam Sankirtan party, go and then distribute Prabhupada's books. Then we will know what Srila Prabhupada did, how much he struggled in the old age. 70 years he went out. There was Recently, I was just hearing a conversation between His Holiness Shivaram Maharaj and His Holiness Bhaktivikas Swami Maharaj. Shivaram Maharaj was pointing out that when he was in Montreal, Srila Prabhupada was trying to come to the temple. I don't exactly remember the details. Probably the end, coming to the inside the temple was a little difficult, I think. Maybe he has to take some crossroad or he has to climb something. So it was difficult. So they said, Prabhupada, sorry for the inconvenience. Prabhupada said that everything is inconvenience for me. Everything is inconvenience for me means Prabhupada is saying that he's in a very old age. It's difficult for him, but he took so much struggle, so much pain. Just go out and then preach. This is exactly the spirit. That's the verse here. Trees are sacrificing. So we have to develop this spirit. We have to learn from those who are very advanced, who are sacrificing their time and energy. So we should, we should start it in a small way. We should at least once a week go out and distribute books, go and participate in Harinam, and whenever there is an opportunity, meet someone, tell about Krishna, tell about the temple, Sunday program, festivals, upcoming festivals. Help someone to chant Hare Krishna, help someone to take a Prabhupada book, read, help. So this is the spirit of giving Krishna to others. So important. And then, as time goes, specifically speaking to those devotees who are inmates, who are in the Brahmacharya ashram, we may be engaged in various service. So sometimes we will get to the spirit of, because we are constructing the temple, we need definitely funds also. So we may think in terms of collecting for Krishna. Yes, great, excellent. And also we also think how to help benefit others, how to help others. Yes, by someone contributing for Krishna, he definitely is already benefited. But then that spirit, if you always keep the spirit behind, that yes, we are meant to give Krishna, we happily distribute prasadam, happily give books, happily we collect donation, we speak about Krishna happily. That is what was so attractive with Krishna, with Srila Prabhupada. Everybody, they came and then gave so much donation to Prabhupada and his sincere followers. Even how the movement is expanding, even today, because the spark of sincerity. We use the funds properly for expanding the Krishna consciousness movement. But we are expanding the book distribution program. We are constructing temple. We are going and trying to preach in the villages. There are padayatras. There are scientific preaching. So many ways. All the money in the world should simply be used only for Krishna's service. And then also the scriptures point out that how one should, specifically for those who are grahasthas, yes, they have to contribute generously, whatever is possible. Prabhupada gave this rule of 50% of one's income. 25% he keeps for emergency, 25% he gives donations. One should not be miser. Ultimately, at the end of the day, what are we going to take with us? So that spirit is so important. That's what we see from the scriptures. And also, there are people sometimes they may engage in giving donation and all those things, but they're really looking for name, fame, and glories. That's what, this is not pure devotion. Pure devotion is one you just give for Krishna, for the pleasure of Krishna. When we do that, we can completely, heart will be satisfied. When there is a mixture, okay, I have given this, I have done that, so what is in store for me? Then that's not the spirit of Shuddha Bhakti. Shuddha Bhakti is completely give oneself to Krishna, everything. There was a disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. There was a Grahastha couple. Whatever salary they gain, whatever salary they will get, they'll come and directly give it to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in turn will give some amount for he will give that for their monthly expenses, something he will give. That's how there are so many devotees like that. In fact, in our movement, there are so many devotees who have selflessly sacrificed their entire life, whatever assets they had, still sacrificing, and then they are pushing. So, in fact, we can see there are so many devotees and disciples of Srila Prabhupada who are selflessly sacrificing their lives. We are just running on their account actually. Whatever little here and there we are trying to do, we are doing, but because of their great sacrifice, like 80%, there is a saying, that 80% of the, how does it go? Yeah. Well, 20% of the only some work is done by some people, but 80% of the work is done by those who are really contributing, and only some are doing only 20%. They are surviving on the 80% work done by the others. There is some law. I don't know whether you remember Murphy's law, something like that. Huh? Yeah. So it's something like that. All the great Vaishnavas have done all the great work. So we need to really be instruments, whatever tiny way. But the spirit should be there to give 100% to Krishna. That should be our spirit. Whatever that we can, we just give. Whatever best possible, give. Whatever maybe, we all have a responsibility as a grahastha, we have social responsibility, so many other. But whatever that you are doing, do it fully with full heartedness, give completely. And also, we may get so much knowledge we get. We have got knowledge, we have got shelter. We can think about our own life. If we have not got Prabhupada's shelter, if we have not got knowledge from Prabhupada, this is the greatest treasure. What is this? Krishna consciousness is the greatest treasure. The knowledge of Krishna consciousness is the greatest treasure. If we have not got this, what would have been our situation? We will also be roaming around as different kinds of misers, always just getting our own name, fame, big degree, big assets, our own positions, we will try to put our feet in a very strong way in the material world. Material world itself is a temporary place, but we are trying to will let us lead a secure life here. That's the idea. That's what the whole materialists are convincing us. We'll make this place so secure for you. What's the security? The real security is in the service of Krishna. The real security is in the lotus feet of the Lord and His pure devotees. So that's what the great Vaishnavas have come to give us. Srila Prabhupada has come to give us. So we can learn lessons from this very nice verse. There are some more verses to go. More devotees will give more insight into this. But this is the essential point is that our life is meant for sacrifice in the service of Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas. This is the spirit of Vaishnavism. And in that way, we expand the Krishna consciousness movement. In that way, Srila Prabhupada, we can see the smile in the face of our spiritual master and the face of Srila Prabhupada. We'll be very much happy if we can help in expanding the Krishna consciousness movement. So, just to conclude one point, so at least, even if we cannot help in expanding, we should not be a hindrance. So, let's follow ourselves strictly, try to purify our existence, and simultaneously try to help others as well. So, if you have any questions or comments or any realizations, any points to add? Yes. Yes. Okay. So, the question is that I just got the message that we need to sacrifice our life in engaging in service. Sometimes there is a conflict because I have to complete my sadhana as well. Also, I have to sacrifice in doing some service. So, how do I balance? Right? That's the question. Yeah, that's always there. Yes, one needs to be. That's why we need guidance of devotees. So, we need to balance our sadhana and service. Okay, so not that we just completely only be totally focused on our personal sadhana alone and then don't do any service. That's also not the right thing to do. And also I will just be only doing service, and then I will not follow the instruction that given by spiritual master to chant minimum 16 rounds of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, follow the 4 regulative principles. And also the Guru says that we have to hear, Shravanam is also important. So there is a balance. Balance is required. Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, Yukta Ahara Viharasya. Krishna says that there should be a balanced eating, sleeping, recreation. Everything needs to be balanced. So that needs to be balanced. So that needs guidance. You need to prioritize what needs to be done and when to be done and how to be done. So under the guidance, you need to do that properly. But this is on a personal level. That very important, the philosophical point that we were trying to point out is that we have to understand that this human form of life is meant for sacrificing for giving Krishna to others. That's the essential point I wanted to convince. All the different examples was an impetus to understand that life is not just for our own sense gratification, but there's a higher purpose of understanding God and then on top of that, giving the Lord to others. Anything else? Any other? Yes, Prabhu.
But certain times we observe that suddenly the conscious comes that I, mine, and so something like, for example, just when devotees distribute prasadam, uh, devotees are, happily distributing, but because they happily distribute, and then the some of us, we try to grab as much as possible. Doesn't think that, the whether prasadam, is enough for the serving devotees for doing service. So some of the devotees are still in the kitchen cooking. So when the tendency comes, like, try to scribe as much as possible, just, collect. Not only prasadam, many things happen sometimes. Some material, somebody gets something from, temple, and then, oh, why I am not getting that? That tendency is there. So how to come out? They are devotees, they are serving, they are dedicated.
They're chanting, they are practicing.
A lot of things they dedicated, there's so much service they do also. It's not that, they just come and only, taking. But how it goes both things, that they are serving, but sometimes this thing comes. How to come out of this?
Yeah, I think Prabhu, what is by engaging in service with advanced devotees who are selflessly sacrificing, seeing their lifestyle and engaging and observing them, and also regularly reading and hearing from the Bhagavatam, regular hearing and reading, and then observing, also contemplating on these things. It's not just totally mechanical. So we need to think about it also, what's happening. Then it helps us. I'm a bit selfish. So in that way one can overcome. And then also we have very nice devotees who are very merciful, who immediately also correct others. And when we are in a proper spirit, we will understand, I was so selfish, what is this? I should not be like that. So it definitely requires quite a good amount of training, being with devotees and serve them and then learn from them. Also when we hear the lives of great personalities, when we see this immediately, where they are and where I am, we can just think also, okay, in small way, we may even, just thinking, first to even in a train or in a bus or something, even the sitting place, we may even go only, it will be only a 20 minutes travel. Just for the seat, there will be a heavy fight actually sometimes. It's, women go for Harinam, there will be 20 minutes, we are there in destination. Oh, maybe we should take one more car, this, that. Oh, what is a big thing? Just that mentality, I think it requires more of training, association, more purification, again and again coming and hearing, and then a little bit think also what they speak. These are some of the points that I taught. So that's most, it's very much required. And then we all may see the lives of great personalities also, when how the kind of great sacrifice they are doing, where they are and where we are. There should definitely some change should happen. And also we can understand how much neophyte we are. We are selfish, but nevertheless, the process is devotional service. The more you chant, come and associate devotee here. And when somebody corrects us, we should be in a spirit to take it properly. Bro, what is this you are speaking? Gone, you can't learn anything. In humble spirit, you try to understand. And they are showing us our ignorance. And then when we don't see it, and then we just even question others, that's the very bad situation. So, yes, yesterday we were hearing one Prabhupada lecture in the morning. And the Prabhupada said that even he was giving the example of Hayagriva and Madhukaitaba. So he was giving example of Madhukaitaba influenced by Rajas and Tamas, and he said that even one has come to the level of Sattva, there is always a great chance of falling down. So one should transcend even Sattva to Shuddha Sattva, he says. So in the material world, we may not be surprised that when these kind of lower natures, it comes up. So that's why devotional service is, Tivrena Bhakti Yogena, it's being mentioned. We should take it very seriously and try to practice and try to, as much as possible, try to surrender fully. There's no question of 90%, 95%, 98%. That's why when we preach also we say surrender means 100% surrender. Whether you're doing it or a secondary thing, we cannot, okay, whatever you can do, you do. Give yourself fully as much as possible. So that spirit we should inculcate, we should encourage each other. And yet there may be, we may be falling short, but at least we should know this is not right. I need to improve. So then things will work out. You want to add something, Boo? Yes? Yeah. No. These are, that's what I, at the beginning, okay, the question is, who is this Arjuna that is mentioned here? So there is another Arjuna, who is another Gopa. So if you read the Nectar of Devotion, you will see there are different Sakas, Priya Sakas, so many different kinds of devotees, Gopa friends of Krishna are there.